1, 2, 3, go.
So, hello everyone. I hope all of you can hear me. Please do let me know if you can hear me, and then we'll go ahead. Right. So, essentially, today's session is going to be how do I help you to prepare for TCS within 25 days? And I assume that a lot of you would have, your colleges going side by side. Also, some of you on your summer break. So, I'll give you a different preparation strategy. I'll also recommend somebody who's managing the chat to please run a poll that let's say for the next 1 month, will your colleges be going on or would you be having your holidays? Right. So do let us know. Based upon that, we'll push out a good number of things on our uh, social media handles customized for you. So I'm going to tell you the whole thing in terms of what should be your preparation hours, how much you should be focusing upon each and every section, how do you divide your time between Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and so we'll cover whole of it. Make sure that you do attend this particular session till the very end. Do follow us on social media because Cisco, Amazon, and Microsoft, these three companies are hiring 23 batches. So, would highly recommend you can check our Instagram and go ahead and apply there. Again, as always, the top three comments in the video get Prep Insta Prime subscription absolutely free. I'm reading all of your uh, chat as well. So if you get some good questions, I'll then basically be answering all of those, right? So what we'll be discussing the weightage, the cutoff of different sections, which sections should you definitely be focusing upon, and resources on how to prepare, right? Because generally a lot of you would be preparing for some XYZ book that may be a little incorrect. I'll also tell you how prepinsta.com free version also can help you. Probably not use that book completely altogether. Then we are running some discount. I guess today's coupon code is TCS. You'll get 10% off if you use the coupon code TCS 3 months, 6 months, 12 months subscription on your Prep Insta Prime. I guess you saw the trailer of that just a little bit before, right? So moving ahead, one more thing. This is pretty very important. TCS has changed a lot many things in their exam test. Even though the number of questions and everything remain the same, but hear me out. So first thing is this: a lot of people were confused about a trade section. A trade section is almost like a Google captcha. Okay. So the whole thing that they are basically checking is they'll give you a question which would be like buses. How many on which sections do you see buses, or which section do you see airplane? It's basically to check that you are not a bot. Okay. So don't worry about the trade section. It's going to be pretty easy. Second thing here is we did not know earlier about the number of questions. We discussed this with TCS as well. So here, basically, total 75 minutes will be given for all of these sections together. Now, one very important thing is they've also changed. There is no sectional navigation. Also, there is no question-wise navigation. So, for example, let's say if you're on question 3 and you want to go to question number 7, you can't do that. You can only go from question 3 to question 4. This is the direction only after solving question 3, and you can't go back to question number 3 once you've solved question number 4. So kind of they've made their test adaptive. So very important. Same thing goes on here. The total timing of this section is 35 minutes. There will be 10 questions, and then the advanced coding part. One question is going to be from Prep Insta top 100 section. I'll just show you it to you very quickly. And the second question would be from data structures. Surely. Right. So for example, the Prep Insta top 100 section I was just talking to you about. So it's essentially this section here. I'll tell you a little bit more about it. Essentially, the first question is going to come in your exam from all of the questions that are mentioned here. So even for service-based companies, this would be an ideal way for you to go ahead and prepare, right? Now, let's move ahead. Again, there would be a calculator which you can use, but you can't revisit questions as you can see here, right? So one more thing that's very important for all of you to understand is you need to have at least 75 percentile in the written test to go for the ninja role, and for the digital interview you need to have 90 percentile. More than that, uh, it's a little more complicated, but to be honest, this is a good way for me to explain you this, right? So also one more thing is 2 out of 10 people will clear the written round. Last year TCS hired 1 lakh people, but this year they are reducing this number down to 40,000. Again, why? Because of recession, because of pandemic, because of global supply chain issues, Russia, Ukraine war. There's a lot of uncertainty. People are getting fired right now from their jobs. So very, very important for you to understand this year the cutoff would be higher because they are going to be selecting lesser number of people. So very important. Okay, now to talk about the numerical ability section here, there are few topics that are really, really important and it depends. So for example, numerical ability and advanced quantitative aptitude, to be honest, if you look at any other different company, they'll just simply call it as quants. But here they are calling it differently, numerical ability and advanced quantitative ability. Even for the digital tests that happened in premium colleges, these were the sections or these were the important topics. In numerical ability, elementary statistics was very important, like mean, median, mode, data interpretation. Using that, you're using statistical analysis. All the previous year papers are available on Prep Insta Prime. I'll very quickly show you a little later. Percentages, area mensuration, equation, data interpretation. So essentially, they are going to be focusing more upon this top part of the question now, of the topics. Now, in the case of the advanced quantitative aptitude, which would have 10 questions, so you all of these topics that I mentioned here on the screen would be the most important ones. Now, how do you practice all of these previous year papers? Fairly simple. Just go to Prep Insta. These are all the actual questions, by the way. So go to Prep Insta, for example, go to TCS or TCS NQT or Ninja, wherever you want to go. All of them have the same questions. Now from here, you can just scroll down to the preparation section. So for example, let's say in the quantitative ability part, if you want to practice percentages, you can go to the percentages quiz and then you'll get a lot of analysis here. So for example, question, how many people chose option A, B, C, and D? So in that case, reading from a book becomes complete obsolete. And again, explanation for a particular question also, your time-based performance, right? So how many people are solving? So on average, this particular question takes 140 seconds to solve on general. So you'll get to know that how many people have solved this question before you, how many people have solved this question after you. So very, very important stuff here. So now moving ahead, again for this particular section, again, how can you prepare? So generally, I guess 50% of you who are watching already would already have their Prep Insta Prime subscription. So which is why generally what I would suggest for this particular section, complete the foundational quantitative aptitude course. It'll have the whole videos. I'll very quickly show you the course also. Apart from that, also the TCS NQT course so for example, this course. So ideally, you should be using this particular course to prepare for foundations, to basically as a theory, to practice basics of questions. And then further on, you should be moving ahead to this course here to prepare for previous year questions of TCS that have been asked, to prepare for suggested quizzes that we've prepared for it. If I'm to show it show the course very, very quickly. So for example, let's say if you look at for example, pipes and cisterns, right? So there's good amount of animation that's been done here.
Also, I'm doing, so it would be again.
Right, so I'll just play this video in 2x because a lot of you are asking on chat, sir, please show us the course. So as you can see, a good amount of animations we teach you with the help of all of these animations, right? So that's basically, which is why I would recommend you Prep Insta Prime. Now, going ahead further, verbal ability section. A lot of people will ignore verbal ability section, but this is the most important section for TCS NQT. Why? Because it's the most difficult section. You will give the exam and then you'll be like, generally, I would think English would be easy, but somehow out of all the quants, numerical ability, logical reasoning, advanced logical reasoning, and even coding, your feedback would be verbal was the most difficult section. And the reason why it's the most difficult section that would cause all of those troubles for you would be the reading comprehension section would be the most difficult here. And apart from that, para jumbles would be the next one that would be most difficult, and synonyms, antonyms. Again, you would have 25 questions, as I said earlier. Again, how do you prepare for it? Again, same thing goes by. that you go ahead and prepare from the verbal ability section that's there on Prepinsta Prime. Then probably what you can do is you can go to let's say here English verbal section, and from there you can basically let's say start the reading comprehension and quiz, and then further let's just start solving all of those questions. You'll get analytics, you'll get graph based performance of yours. So for example, average time to solve this particular question is 20 seconds. So you'll get to know if you are performing better or worse than other people that there are, right? So that's the most important thing. Coming to the next part here is reasoning ability. Now, reasoning and advanced reasoning, both of them have the same syllabus, but the questions that would be asked in reasoning ability and the questions that would be asked in advanced reasoning ability would be different in terms of your basic topics. So here the important topics are the ones that are mentioned in green color. So these are, again, you can take a screenshot of all of these and you can go back if you missed out taking screenshot of the previous ones. This video is going to be available. So these are the most important section. As you can see, from cubes, cuts and fold, they have 3 to 4 questions. From arrangement, which I forgot to color in green, I'm really sorry, they have 4 to 6 questions. And from Venn diagrams, data sufficiency and statements and conclusion, they have 3 to 4 questions. Right. Now, in the case of advanced reasoning ability, all of these sections are not so important. The sections that are important are basically these: your syllogism, your data sufficiency, statements and conclusion, and statement and assumption, statements and conclusion, right? So very, very important for you to understand. Again, both here I've made one minor mistake. For this particular section, there would be 10 questions here. Now, to move ahead to the next part, so this is basically, okay, I forgot to change the name in the slide. So you can ignore this, you can ignore this. This is essentially coding. Okay, so I'll tell you a good few resources in terms of what do you need to do for coding. The first question, definitely, I guarantee this. Every year I say the same thing. One more thing, do not use Python. We made an Instagram post regarding that. Please don't use Python. Okay, Python compiler, there would be indentation problem. You cannot press backspace and can go to the previous line, and a lot of issues with Python stuff there. Right. So what would I recommend you is, let's say if you Google TCS coding questions, so you'll get this particular page. So there are a few questions that are available here that you can practice. All of these are previous year TCS coding questions, but make sure that you also Google TCS advanced coding questions. So here you'll get the digital level of difficulty. The question level difficulty for the same thing would be very same as for TCS digital. In fact, there is one video of TCS digital coding questions that I've made. I would recommend you to go ahead and check that. Apart from that, again, as I had mentioned, Prepinsta top 100 section, one question. The first question would be easy. That would be repeated from here. So Prepinsta top 100 sections, for example, if I open up any particular question, prime numbers within a given range, so you'll get different methods. So for example, method 1, method 2, method 3, method 4, method 5, so on. So you'll get a lot of good analytics here. So I'll quickly show you one more thing. So for example, for data structures part, I'll recommend the same thing, that go to learn data structures of Prepinsta. And then, for example, let's say if you want to practice insertion sort, go to insertion sort in C or C++ or Java. You'll get these type of understanding the codes as well, advantages, disadvantages, a good amount of memes. In fact, we have a meme review section here, so that once you complete the whole sorting section, you can learn through memes as well. So pretty good stuff here as well. In terms of the coding part, what we would be recommending people would be that first complete the basic coding course. So the basic coding course is pretty basic. For example, let's say basic coding in C and C++. If I go here, half of you would have already seen this, right? So basic stuff. So this would be for the people who are not good at coding at all. Basically, generally mechanical and CSIT people, mechanical EC triple E people who have even forgotten the syntax of coding. They don't even remember how to print, let's say, hello world, because they don't remember stdio.h or namespace.h. So basic coding is the first course. Then I would recommend you to go ahead with the intermediate coding course. Now, intermediate coding course is also, basically is recommended for service-based companies only. So, for example, advanced in numbers, Armstrong number. There are multiple methods that I've mentioned here for different stuff. So I would be generally recommending this stuff here. So again, we are coding here. We are going to be coding in this video as well. So basically that, right? Now, once you've completed that, then I would recommend you to go to the TCS NQT course. Where is it? Where is it? Yeah, TCS NQT course, and practice all the previous year questions that are given on TCS NQT course. Also here on this page, that is TCS coding questions page of Prepinsta, and also TCS. So don't do TCS digital coding questions yet, because first of all, I would be recommending then to you that go ahead and complete a data structures course in C, C++, Java or Python. So that's basically for the second question. If you want to go ahead and get placed in Ninja or digital, you have to solve both coding questions, both of them. If you even solve one out of two, you are not going to the next round, almost guaranteed. Uh, so Java or data structures, you complete this whole course. So I'll very quickly show you the data structures course also. So you'll get a little fair idea in terms of what would be there in this particular course. So yeah, basically this is the data structures course wherein we are calculating
So if L hide,
max depth, etc., etc. Right. So essentially this. Then I would be finally recommending you to go ahead with the TCS digital type of questions which are given on this particular page. You can just Google TCS advanced coding questions. You'll get some questions, and then again you go back and to the TCS NQT course to try out the questions which are a little difficult in nature. So for example, this course, you'll see a particular section which will say, okay, these are TCS digital, or these are basically TCS Ninja, the second question difficulty level. So this is what we would be recommending you. Now, very, very important thing is we've also, again, side by side, when you're preparing for your, interview, what would happen is your exam happened even within 3 to 4 days, the interview result or the interview shortlisting will be announced, and even on the fourth day, people will start getting their interviews. So side by side, when you're preparing for your online test, you need to also prepare for all of these. So I forgot to change the name, but this is basically what all do you need to prepare for interview, right? So C, C++, its importance is low because the number of questions that would be asked would be lesser. But ideally, you can't go ahead with all of these before completing the C and C++ course. So ideally, you can go ahead and prepare C and C++ on your own, or if not, then probably go ahead with the C and C++ course that's given on Prepinsta's website, Prepinsta Prime. So that, right? Then again, Java and Python. So C and C++, you should do both of them. But out of Java and Python, you can pick up any one of them. So let's say Java course, I'll very quickly show you the Java course as well. For example, array list in Java or any particular video randomly I'll open. So very similar stuff, right? I'm sure that you will be able to understand. I don't have to play the video till the whole in terms of what you'll get inside the course, right? So this is the Java course. Then moving ahead, DBMS is very important. Even if you are a CSIT student or a non-CSIT student, you need to know SQL and DBMS, both of them. The reason being, understand this. TCS is hiring developers. They are allowing non-CSIT people to sit their exams, so they are kind of doing favor on you. So their interviewer will not be like that, okay, let me ask less difficult question, or let me not ask coding, let me not ask C, C++, Java, Python, let me not ask DBMS and SQL. They are basically hiring the best people. So Wipro will only allow CSIT, EEE, EC branch. That's it. They will not allow biotech, they will not allow civil, they will not allow mechanical and other branches to sit for their online test. Same Capgemini, only CSIT, EC, EEE. So since TCS is allowing everybody, but that's only one condition, that you should be equally good as coder. You should know all of these languages, definitely, right? Data structures also. Again, for data structures, I just showed you the course already. If you can go ahead and prepare for Prime, then it's fine. Else, you go ahead and prepare for data structures from probably Geeks for Geeks or wherever you like. But Prepinsta also has data structure section wherein you can prepare data structures, linked list, stacks, queues, trees, etc., etc. Right now, intermediate coding and basic coding, because in the interview also you will be asked coding questions, which would be the level of difficulty of that for Ninja would be this Prep and Start top 100 section ideally. So I'll very quickly show it to you again. And also, there's this basic coding and intermediate coding course on Prime. So these two, right? And if not, then you want to go ahead with the free version, then Prep and Start top 100 is ideally what I would be definitely suggesting you. Then projects. Now, we've been saying it again and again, again and again, you will not get a job without project. If you are having your resume, which has the name of the project, which has two lines about the project, you will mostly be not getting selected. 90% chances are you will not get selected. Only 10% chances are that you will get selected. The reason being, you've done engineering, you should have projects. Definitely, you're applying for an IT company, so IT-based projects. So your resume should have the link to the GitHub code. Your resume should have the link to wherever the repository of the running code is there, or probably a YouTube video also. So that's valid for service-based companies, TCS, Digital, Infosys, SP, DSE, Cognizant, Genci Next, Elevate, product-based companies, everything. If you don't have projects, or if you say, sir, because they'll ask you that, okay, share your screen, show me the code, or show me the project. You can't say, sir, I don't have the project. It was a group project. My friend has it. You can't say, sir, I had the project, but the computer got formatted. If you say that, in that case, definitely you are going to get rejected. Also, if you have hardware projects, obviously for those hardware projects also, there will be some code, right? So show that code and then keep that hardware. Obviously, you would be sharing your camera and show them that, okay, sir, this is basically what I prepared. This is the code in embedded C on my system in MATLAB or in any other platform wherever you've coded that. But again, reminding you again, if you don't have projects, create them, which is why on Prep and Star's website we have this project section that you can create all of these projects and then show them in your resume. Or let's say if you already know machine learning, artificial intelligence, so in that case you can directly go ahead with the project. If not, then we have this skill section that comes in the subscription: ethical hacking, cloud computing, Azure, AWS, big data, neural networks, and deep learning, artificial intelligence, and machine learning. Very very quickly showing it to you. So, for example, one of the projects that generally I most of all show it to everybody here is, so for example, wouldn't it be cool that you open up your system, share your screen,
so that runs as well.
Click upon the run button, and then automatically camera opens and you're able to see, show that cool stuff that, okay, if I'm wearing a mask, it says you are wearing a mask with a high accuracy. If you remove the mask, as I did here, it says that you are removing the mask, or you've removed the mask. So ideally, this machine learning course would take about 15 days. If you give 2 hours every day, you'll complete this whole course. You'll get a certification from Prep and Star. Also, you'll get a certification from TCS Ion. If you complete some additional modules, which will take you 3 to 4 hours at max. So you'll get 2 certifications, one from Prep and Star, one from TCS Ion, and obviously TCS itself is giving you certification. So that's going to count humongously in the interview. So with Prep and Star Prime, which is why we partnered with TCS Ion, why will companies just trust Prep and Star certification, but at least they would trust TCS's certification here, right? So basically, that's one thing. Very very important. And competitive coding, but competitive coding only for people who are preparing for digital. If you are preparing for Ninja, in that case, you can skip competitive coding. In the case of competitive coding, I'll very quickly show the competitive coding course because a lot of you are asking about that. So for example, let's say searching and sorting. There's a very famous, let's say this video, aggressive cows, is one of my favorite videos. I'll just play this around for you. So again, this is the competitive coding part of it. You'll be able to see that this is how it works. Right, finally, eventually, we will be also coding. So here I'm kind of explaining how the array stuff and all of that works, and finally the coding part of it as well. Right. So this is the competitive coding course. In terms of the you get the solutions at the very next of the video as well. So yeah. So now moving ahead, in terms of suggested hours to prepare. That's the most important. If you're joining now, please stay. Do not cross this video. This is the most important stuff here. Right. So a little bit of calculation may be incorrect. So you can ignore this part. You can ignore this particular part. You can ignore this particular part, right? But in terms of number of hours that I'm recommending, because right now there are only 25 days for you to prepare, is this, right? So ideally for verbal ability, 10 hours you should be doing theory. And when I say theory, I am essentially talking about, let's say if you have the Prep Insta Prime subscription, in that case I'm talking about that, okay, complete the verbal ability course. That's it. Right. When I talk about solving previous year questions, so in that case, what I'm saying here is that, okay, obviously you would have completed this verbal ability course, which will definitely have some practice questions and quizzes also. But then you go ahead with the TCS NQT course that is here, right? Then you practice questions from here. Then finally, same thing. So basically, the same kind of structure would be followed for other things as well, right? So for example, numerical ability, if you're trying to study, so in that case 18 hours is the theoretical part and solving previous year questions is the 22 hours. So you can take a screenshot of the whole thing if you like. Again, 18 hours, what I'm suggesting here is that complete the foundational course of quantitative aptitude here, and then go ahead to the TCS NQT course to prepare for previous year coding questions. And then there are some additional videos also in this course that are very specific to TCS NQT, like elementary statistics. This is not available in quants because elementary statistics is only asked in TCS. So one of those important topics for TCS, those additional videos will be there in the TCS NQT course. Now, again, very, very important thing here is, ideally, when you're preparing in the next 25 days, you should be equally giving time to interview preparation, which is learn C, C++, data structures, DBMS, work, pick up a skill. Don't pick up web development. It will take you 6 months to complete it. Pick up something that can be completed in 15 days, like machine learning, artificial intelligence, Azure, cloud, AWS, ethical hacking, um, neural networks, deep learning. These projects and courses can be completed in 15 days if you give 2 hours every day and create projects, because your interview would just happen as soon as your online test would happen. And again, coding. So coding, what I've suggested here is 40 hours of coding and 20 hours of solving previous year questions. Same thing goes by. What I'm suggesting in these 20, in this 40 hours of theory, I've mentioned 40 hours of theory here, is because you will be completing a lot of courses. Basic coding, intermediate coding. You'll be completing data structures in C, C++, Java or Python. Or you can go ahead with a course called as data structures for service-based companies on Prep Insta. Or probably wherever you are preparing data structures or basic coding and intermediate coding from. Right? Not necessarily Prep Insta Prime. If you have some other resource, then you can go ahead and prepare from that. So that's one thing. After that, what you would be doing is that you would go ahead and prepare from the TCS NQT course first. There are previous year questions here, but that's not it. You will additionally need to prepare for, I'll go to this section very, very quickly. So there's this particular TCS Code Vita course, because the second question level of difficulty would be TCS Code Vita. In fact, last time we saw that out of 13, 14 different slots, in 4 to 5 slots, question got repeated from TCS Code Vita exam, from previous year TCS Code Vita exam. So this is the course that you will be referring to for the second coding question that is there, right? Now, in terms of your daily preparation plan by Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, this is what I propose overall. Here, the mathematical calculation should be perfect, right? So, generally, what I'm recommending is, I don't care if your college is going, I don't care if if you have semester breaks, right? Your college is not important. Your college percentage or your college attendance is not going to give you a job. So don't go to college if it comes down to this, right? Because let's say if you score 70% in college and don't get a job in an IT company, what's the point, right? All you need to do is clear your exam, and your exams would be happening in December. Don't go to college, skip college. If summer break, then it's great. Daily, what I've suggested is on the weekdays, on average, 8 hours to 7 hours preparation is I'm suggesting. So this is the whole plan. You can take a screenshot of it. Generally, on the weekdays, what I'm suggesting here is that focus a little more. If you see the plan, that is this particular part. I'm sorry, that is this particular area, that is the weekdays part. So in this case, I'm suggesting on average, if you take an average of it, it will be coming close to 6 hours, right? So here I'm suggesting numerical, logical, and verbal a little more on these days. Apart from that, I've also given rest days on Thursdays and Fridays, because you've only directly studied for all of these 3 days, and then you're going to study larger number of hours on weekends, right? So which is why here only 4 hours and 4.5 hours of study. Again, approximately 6 to 7 lakh people are going to apply for TCS every year. That's the number, because total every year 15 lakh people graduate out of engineering. Half of those have issues in terms of that they don't want to sit for TCS because they already have a high paying offer, or let's say they are not eligible because they have backlog. But 6 to 7 lakh people register for it, and 40,000 people are going to get selected. So again, it's not like last year wherein 1 lakh people got selected in TCS last year. So very, very important here. On the weekends, what I'm suggesting here is that generally your focus should be on interview, your focus should be on coding. So that's what I focused here. Both of these things, if you see in terms of number of hours for numerical per week, I'm suggesting 11, 9.5, 7 for verbal, 8 for interview. And okay, so this I forgot to change this, add this out, right? So we'll put this up on our Instagram as well. I guess today or tomorrow. So I'll fix those numbers. But the calculation may be incorrect in terms of addition, subtraction, because I forgot to do them perfectly. So probably I added this, and this, and here I forgot to add, let's say this value, this value, this value, this value should mean this, right? So ideally, if you look here, 2 plus 3, 2, 3, 6, 8. So this is fine, but here 6 and 18. So this should be 18 hours. So here I forgot to do calculation perfectly. We'll fix this up on our Instagram, right? So that's practically what I am suggesting here. For the people whose semester exam are going, I'm really sorry. Uh, this is the way of life. Skip your semester exam. Can you do that? Uh, well, at least in VIT, we could do that. That probably I'll skip my semester exam and do my subjects later. Uh, okay, so I'm taking up questions. If you have any questions, so what is the cutoff in coding questions? So basically, to be honest, for digital, you need to solve both coding questions. And even they are going to give TCS Innovator role also this year. So which would be 11.5, 12 LPA, 12 LPA this year. For Ninja, 1.5. So what do I mean by 1.5? Because each and every test case has values or has marks. So total 100 marks approximately, let's say. So in that case, the first easy coding question, all the test cases passing. And for the second difficult coding question, at least half of the test cases being passing. So that is what I would be recommending you. Okay. How to deal with coding question? The level of difficulty is too high. So ideally, you should be preparing already, right? So in that case, it's not high. It's basically you need a little more practice, and there's nothing that cannot be done without practice, right? Uh, Yeah, it's compulsory to execute both of these codes, right? Sir, what is the screen size limit of aptitude question? So I'll go back and I'll explain this up again, because there would be a few people who would have joined. So TCS has officially now announced that timing also. So here for all of these three sections, you are going to get 75 minutes. But here, if you are on question one and you want to go to question two, so you have to answer this question completely. Either skip this question or mark an answer. From question two, you can't go back to question number one. So to move from 1 to 2 and 2 to 3, you need to keep on answering all of these questions. So for example, earlier, let's say from question 3, if you wanted to visit question 7, you could do that. But now you can't. In this case, from 3, you need to solve 4, you need to solve 5, you need to solve 6, and then only you will go to 7. And then from 7, you can't come back to 6 or you can't come back to 5 again. Once the answer has been marked and you move to the next question, you can't come back. So basically, there's no time limit. In one question itself, you can take 75 minutes, right? But that is something that is not ideal. So let's say if the number of questions here are 20, 20, 40, 40, 65, right? So ideally, I would recommend you that not more than 1.2 minutes per question. So let's say as soon as 2 minutes end, you should move to the next question. Stop bothering about this question, is what I would be suggesting. There is overall timer. There is no question specific timer as of now, right? So for this whole section, you'll get 75 minutes. For this whole section, you'll get 35 minutes. For this whole two questions, you'll get 55 minutes. And traits, as I said, is basically like a Google captcha. So there's no marks for this. They're just checking that okay, that you are not a bot. So there would be questions like box, and the box would be divided into 9, and they'll say that okay, where do you see street lights? Mark those columns. So pretty much that, right? One more thing is again, go ahead with the Prep Insta Prime subscription. Is definitely one person is asking, should I be taking Prep Insta Prime subscription? Absolutely yes. Uh, I guess we ran a poll on our Instagram. Out of 40-50,000 people of 23 batch that follow us on Instagram, 60% of them answered that they've taken the subscription, which is why I kept today's lecture that I'll focus more upon the people who have the Prep Insta Prime subscription and will tell them that how do you go ahead and prepare using the subscription itself, right? So we have amazing placement statistics also apart from your college helping you as well. From December onwards, we will also be helping you to get placed in different companies. The average package was 7.4 LPA with 2.7 average offers. Highest salary was this. The number of certifications given were this. In terms of the total number of people getting selected for different companies, I'll zoom this so that you can see a little better. For TCS Digital, there were 8,000, 9,000 people approximately got selected last year. Infosys 4,000, SPDSP role, which is a 6.5 and a 9 LPA role, approx 4,000. For Amazon, 47 LPA role, approx 300 people. So we have good statistics here. More than 1 lakh people got placed in product-based company with an average package of 17 LPA in product-based. Same for Ninja. Till the date, in the last 3-4 years, total 3 lakh people have gotten selected via Prep Insta. So generally, we posted on our Instagram that okay, think placements, think Prep Insta. So you can check that. This information is available on the website placement statistics here, and even demo videos of different courses. If you want to check, all of those are available here on this particular page. So it would pretty much help you in terms of getting an idea in terms of what all you will be getting with this. Okay, so a lot of people who are Prep Insta Prime users, can you please comment on the video? I just want to see how many of you here are already Prep Insta Prime subscribers. Just comment in the video. I'm sure there would be a lot of people, right? So again, if you want to reach out to me, I would recommend if you have some specific questions. So this is my personal Instagram. Generally, I'm free on Saturdays and Sunday. So today I'm in office because I had to take this lecture. But you can DM me here. I'll reply to your personal query. So make sure that again you are DMing me here, or if not, you can also DM my team on respective. So let's say if you're a 2022 batch, so in that case 2022 Instagram, wherein on 2022 Instagram we have approximately 1 lakh followers. On 23 Instagram, which is still growing, we have 46k followers. So you can DM us here. We would love to send you DM. We would love for you to send us DM for anything that you need help with, right? But just consider us as your friend, and we'll help you as much as I can. Right? So a lot of people are saying that okay, I'm preference the prime user. Thank you. So that's pretty much about it. Again, we are running up some discounts. So I guess what's the coupon code? TCS only. So you can use the coupon code TCS. You'll get some discount on the purchase. There are different subscription, which is like 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, 24 months, 36 months, 48 months, which would be ideal for first, second year people. But for people who are 23 batch, I would be recommending 18-month subscription because your on campus would be going on for the next 6 months, but for the next 18 months, off campus drives will go on, right? So, for example, 2022 batch, their off campus drives are still going on. So, if I show it to you for 2022 batch, Ground Truth was hiring, Ola was hiring, Goldman was hiring, L&T was hiring, Qualcomm was hiring, Infosys was hiring, Wipro was hiring, and that's just recently. So, for example, if you see here on June 23rd, so that's just 1 month ago. 1 month ago, Wipro was hiring for them, and their college has ended a long back, and they'll still keep on hiring for the next 1 year. So, which is why I would suggest 18 months. You can even call us. I guess numbers mentioned on the website. All right. How they select person for TCS digital after Ninja exam. So I'll very quickly show you one more cool stuff. So okay, yeah. So I want you to take a screenshot of this also. So this is TCS digital, or sorry, TCS Ninja or TCS interview cheat sheet. Basically, this is what the interviewer fill after your interview completes. So they will be recommending either you for Ninja or they would be recommending you for digital. They'll give you a rating scale out of 5. And then there are marks also that are mentioned here. So for example, subject knowledge 5 marks, wherein they'll be asking you this stuff. Problem solving 5 marks, wherein they'll be asking you this. Then additional competency 5 marks, wherein they'll be asking you this. And digital skills 20 marks. So if you see, digital skills is basically knowledge of one digital skills like artificial intelligence, machine learning, full stack, uh, AWS, cloud, Azure, Salesforce, SAP, neural networks, NLP, DLP. So all of these cool skills, not like Java or basic web development, bootstrap wala. Not all of these. These are not digital skills. Even to be honest, web development is also not a digital skill. Digital skill is something that has basically high demand in the market but low supply. With web development, what happens is everybody is doing web development. So even though there is demand, but supply is also there. So which is why companies do not face difficulty hiring full stack developers. But in terms of big data, data science, business intelligence, artificial intelligence, machine learning people, blockchain people, companies find difficulty hiring all of them, which is why they are paying these guys extra. So the supply is low and the demand is high in these things. However, in web development, the supply is high because everybody is learning web development and the demand is also high. So why will companies pay higher when both of them are equally good? So again, certifications 10 marks, communication 10 marks. So you can take a screenshot of this. Whatever I've shown you, this is relevant for your interview. Uh, Sir, I will be taking Prepista Prime subscription for 10 LP and above companies. Do I get intermediate and data structures coding in Prepista Prime? Yeah, I guess you are confused. So Prepista Prime is basically you'll get approximately 200 plus courses under one subscription itself. So for example, you will get all the courses just like Netflix that are mentioned on the website. You will get access to all of them. So for 10 LPA, you need to study data structure, you need to study competitive coding, you need to study C, C++, Java, Python, cybersecurity, ethical hacking, cloud computing, everything practically, right? So even for 10 LPA, I would be definitely be recommending you DBMS operating system SQL, right? And I would also be recommending you guess estimates and puzzles. So I'll very quickly show you the puzzles course. A lot of people get rejected in HR interview in Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan. So in fact, today itself, approximately 1,000 people got placed in 20 plus LPA offers. We posted that on our Instagram. So if you look at any particular video for puzzles, the reason why people get rejected in the interviews is because they don't clear the puzzles round. It's very important for you to also clear the puzzle round as well. So here we've discussed, puzzles for different companies. Here Manish is teaching all of this. Right. So I'll show you. I'll take a little opportunity to show you. So, for example, here was coding part. In terms of the machine learning course, I'll show this. This is something that I showed this morning also. So the video would almost for you feel like Netflix. So there's good amount of animation that happens in the whole subscription. So you'll get a good fair idea of how the whole course goes. Then finally we learn this algorithm, and then finally we go ahead and start the coding part of it as well. So in this particular video, if you see here, then we'll be coding eventually.
And so on and so forth, right? So in the next.
So that's pretty much about it. After TCS NQT exam, if we qualify for the interview, basically they fit us in Digital Ninja based upon your sheet. Yes. So, but again, only the top 10% of the performers in the written round will get the digital interview based upon performance in the digital interview, which will be for 45 minutes and 1 hour. You will either get Ninja or digital. However, if you are in the top 25% performers, but not the top 10%, so in that case, your interview will only happen for Ninja profile. So even if you do amazingly well, first of all, your interview would only be for example, your interview would be for only for 20 minutes at max, right? And then you will only have one outcome, that is getting placed in Ninja. No digital offer would be rolled out for you. So that's pretty much about it. In the meantime, I'll show the Prep Insta Prime subscription to you. Rate this video in 2x. Yeah, as a non-CSIT student, I would recommend that you go ahead with our basic coding course first, then go ahead with the intermediate coding course. So if I'm to show you our intermediate coding course, let's say in C++. So for example, let's say array is one, right? So smallest element in an array. This is the particular video.
It's an integer array. So
Right, so we discuss about different methods. If I'm from development background like HTML, JavaScript, React, in the interview, will this tick ask me about DSA? Yes, but they will still ask you about DSA. If you show them good questions, good projects in web development, then they'll ask you less questions about DSA, because in that case, more time will be spent upon your projects. So basically, yeah. Okay, guys, thank you so much. If you still have any questions, you can DM me. This is my Instagram. I would reply to you on Sundays. Generally, our team off is on Sunday and Monday. And if not, then you can always DM us on Prep Insta 2023. Thank you so much. Happy weekend. I'll just very quickly roll down all of these slides again, so that if, let's say, if you missed out taking screenshot of some good thing, you can still take that. So this is so basically take screenshot of this, then take screenshot of this, but the heading is wrong. It's basically coding, not programming logic, not reasoning, it's coding. Take screenshot of this. This is basically not programming logic, not reasoning. This is basically interview preparation. And this is basically my suggested time for you to prepare. Ignore the number of hours and everything. And this is basically the weekly plan that I'm suggesting, right? So thank you so much. All the best.